What up, guys? Thanks for checking out the video. This is the video that you got to comment on if you want to get entered into this week's 600 UC giveaway. I do this every week. I did skip last week. I apologize. I was simply too busy and couldn't get a video out. Stuff got crazy for a minute for me. But I do plan on doing them every week. I'll have another video coming out in about 3 days. And that video will have the winner announced for the giveaway. So don't forget to comment on this video. All you got to do is be a subscriber to the channel. You have to like this video and you have to comment below, and then I'll pick the names from all the comments, put them in a random generator, it will just randomly pick a winner. So don't forget to do that. Also, there's a tournament coming up. It's a custom room. Subscribers can play only. This is going to be a duo game with 42 Gaming and Coffee. And it's going to be the subscriber's job to kill them. Whoever kills them gets $50 per kill. And if you kill both guys, if you and your teammates kill both of them, then you get a total of $125. You get a bonus $25 if you can take out them as a team. If you take out 42 Gaming and then Coffee kills you and your buddy, you'll get $50. And then whoever kills Coffee later on, if he gets killed, that person will get $50. The only way you can get the extra $25 is if you kill both of them. Doesn't have to be the same person. It's got to be either you or your teammate have to kill both of them. So let me know if you're interested in that, and I will get you more information, and I'll put it all in the description of probably the next video. I don't know, in a video coming up, to get you like the exact details on how to let me know that you want to play in it, and we'll get it going. I wanted to do a video on solos. Not a lot of people play solos, and I don't play a lot of solos, but it's only because once I get ranked up high in solos, I end up running into a lot of teamers and a lot of hackers, and I get really, really frustrated. So I end up getting ticked off and go back to playing duos or squads until I get ranked up higher, and I end up running into teamers and hackers, and I then usually switch accounts. Do it all over again. But so solos has made me a much better player, and I think people are not utilizing this as much as they should. Most people don't play a lot of solos, right? I mean, that's just a fact. Most people play squads. Huge majority. It's the most popular mode is squads. But if you're trying to learn like specific things, I did a video on flanking, for example. And let's just suppose that you're trying to master flanking. You're trying to really practice it and trying to get good at it. It's very rare, if you're not used to doing it, it's going to be hard for you to start putting that into practice in a squad match. In the middle of a battle, you got your teammates, you've got the other team, and a lot of times it's hard to figure out what to do. If you're playing solos, you can set up those engagements much easier. The whole battle's up to you typically, and you don't have teammates to worry about. You've only got one guy to worry about, so it's very easy to practice it. And I think that once you practice something and you get it kind of figured out in solos, it's very easy to then transfer it over to squads or duos. So whether it's sniping, CQC, practicing drop shots, maybe whatever the case may be, it's a whole lot easier to start doing it in a solo game mode, because like I said, you can keep that in the front of your mind and be like, every single engagement I'm going to take, I'm going to try my best to do such and such, whether it's sniping, CQC, whatever it is. You can set the engagements up and you can really get a lot of practice in that way. Then you can start putting it into your typical day-to-day gameplay. Some of the breakdowns on solos, some of the differences between solo matches and squad matches that I've noticed are, first off, people are a lot more careful, a lot more seriously trying not to die in solos, because they don't have anybody to revive them, and so they can't play as risky. You cannot take risks in solos. You will get killed. If you take risks in teams and squads, you just get knocked and you can get revived. But it's a bad habit to get into, because then a lot of times that puts your team in jeopardy, and it's the end of the game, you know, that you end up getting killed. So solos really, it really makes you learn to keep cover, not get exposed too much. When you peek corners, don't peek and push your whole body out. It just makes you a much more careful player. Just like this guy. I'm not going to push that guy. I have to go across the open. I'm going to do everything I can to just root him out of there. And before I started playing a lot of solos, I would have probably just ran up to that dude and tried to push him, but it just doesn't work. And you start to learn what doesn't work. And you also start to learn from your enemies a lot better, because it's just 1v1. The dude's buddy didn't shoot you in the back. He just outplayed you typically. And therefore, it allows you to learn how to get better at 1v1. And again, it translates into every other game mode. But yeah, the downsides are you will end up finding a lot of teamers, especially as you get around diamond, little upper tiers. You'll end up with more teamers and more hackers. The other downside is people are definitely a little bit more camper style, and you have to really learn how to deal with that. I used to just like run upstairs and try to kill them if I knew they were up there. And now I pretty much won't do that unless first I know I've hit them pretty decent with a molly or a grenade and I've gotten some type of hit point damage. Because guys that typically sit in buildings, you have one of two scenarios here. It's either a complete new player who's just sitting there in fear, and you can just run up, and a lot of times you'll kill them before they even have the reflexes to fire a shot off. But then you'll get guys that are what I call pro campers, and they know exactly where to get in every building that they're going to camp in. And these guys very often will kill you. And so that's why I'm very careful now to push buildings. I always will like throw a grenade, throw mollies, and I'll only push if I have a good feeling about it. I won't ignore my risk factor feeling that tells me like, this is a bad idea. So that's probably the hardest thing to deal with, is the campers. Aside from that, it's very easy to find action in solos. After the initial drop, and let's say there's 40 people left, there's 40 locations where enemies are. And so as you drive around, there's people everywhere. Unlike squads, when there's 40 people left, that's only 10 teams, and therefore 10 different locations on the map of where you're going to encounter people. And for that reason, I don't suggest trying to rank in solos. If that's your idea, if you just want an ace parachute or a title, do it in squads, because it's so much harder to get to the top 10 in solos that it's just a lot harder to end up accumulating those points. So I don't really suggest it for trying to rank. I really suggest solos for trying to improve. It allows you to think better. You're not going to be as panicked. 4 dudes aren't going to roll up on you in a vehicle and jump out guns blazing and just make you choke. It's going to be one guy, and it's much easier to handle that situation and use techniques that you've said to yourself that you're going to use and you're going to practice until those just become second nature and it's a part of your day-to-day gameplay. Other than that, it's all the same. The big factor, one of the other big benefits, is that you get all the loot. If there's an AWM in the crate, you get the AWM. You don't have to fight over loot. You don't have to worry about it. You'll always, almost pretty much always, be able to find the loadout that you prefer. You always have enough ammo. So in that sense, it really eliminates that whole problem of like having enough loot. It's really nice for that. I simply find a lot of hard players in solos as well. What happens is you'll have guys who may be a conqueror with a 15 KD and play 1,000 games in squads, but only play 10 games in solos. So when that guy plays solos, he's in like silver or gold. And when you're in silver or gold, you're not expecting to run into 15 KD conquerors. But it'll happen very often in solos, because most of those guys that are high ranked in squads or duos, they simply don't play a lot of solos and they don't rank up very high. So even your low games can be really difficult, and you always have to stay on your toes. And that's why you can't just go pushing people. You have to be really careful and act like every player is that 15 KD player from squads. So it may kind of fool you at first when you'll see on the plane that there's conquerors or something like that. That's what's going on. He's probably a conqueror in squads. And I know this because I've pulled people's names up, and they're like silver in solos, and then they play like 1,500 games in squads, and they're... So give it a shot, guys. Play some solos, and play it with the purpose of finding gunfights and improving. Don't play it passive. Don't worry about it. Just play to go find. Hope you enjoyed the video, guys. Stay tuned for about 3 days. I'll have another one coming out announcing the winner. Thanks for watching.